Hello? 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 Oh, that's me. Wow. I'm gonna turn on my face tracker, even though, like, this isn't something I'm really gonna have on all the time. At least for where we're at with development right now. That's alright, we'll keep it on for a little bit. I am late because I was doing laundry as per usual. I don't know why I'm so slow with it. I suppose I should get my stuff together. Be an actual adult. Not. Yeah. Send me. There we go. We're in, baby. Boom. Here we are. Here's Godot. We can start stuff up. Look at that. It runs as expected. Can turn on tracking. Takes a little bit because I have to query my webcams, but you know. Now the hard part, and the reason why I'm not going to turn on tracking is twofold. One, I'm already tracking, and two, I'm not exposing all the information I need to be exposing. So let me see. Payload, this is all right. Cool. I think for model, yeah, okay. I need to open this up. All right, there's our model stuff. So for our interpolation options, I need to, well, no, those are interpolation options. Looseness, that's where we need to add more stuff. I remember this. Didn't I have a to-do? I did have a to-do. It's not reading from the config. More values need to be exposed in the GUI so that each one can be set individually. Basically, easing the target value lower so we don't snap to a stop when we're done. Well, that's the standard notes. This is the actual implementation thingamajig. So these need to be set from our config if they don't already exist. So, so for the listen values, let me see. So we're looking for, okay, so these are just all interpolation rates, but then we also need to pull in the damping rates as well. So I thought I added these, yeah. So like the damping, I think I'm still gonna call it damping. Damping. I think I prefer calling it damping, but looseness is easier to understand for the end user. Alright, let's do that. I wonder, actually, how many other things use looseness? Looseness. It's only here? Okay, well, let's replace it with damping then. Replace me. Cool, cool, cool. So here, go back to interpolation data. Okay, so we'll pull these in from here. So there's your interpolation global, or interpolate global, which is a true or false value. Base interpolation rate, which is a float, and then the damping value. So this should be so it's Bowen translation, so we need damping for these. Okay, and then you can potentially have different rates if you want. So So we add this in. And then additional bone damping is actually a separate value that's applied on the model as opposed to via interpolation stuff. Yeah. I think. No, those are the global rates. Okay. So I think. So to interpolate bones, interpolate links. Because you potentially have a ton of things that could be interpolated. Global, interpolation new. Bone translation. Actually, does this break? Hey, model config changed. Hold on. Interpolate global. So there is the global thing. I gotta think about this. I feel like because there probably should not be a global damping value. I suppose we could base damping value or global damping value. No, there should not be a global damping value. But this translation and rotation damping should actually be more of like a bone translation damping. But no. Where do these get applied to? So in my previous implementation, I need to check on this now. Okay, back to the vertical screen. Update readme. Nope. Look at you. Browse files. Utils. Interpolation data. So how did I set this? Interpolation data type. These aren't even applied here. I don't even know why I'm looking at this. But there's base prop, no. Base model, translation, damp. So these are used where? These are used where? Default runner. So here, model apply movement. Interpolation data, bone translation, bone rotation. So these are damping values. Okay, so these are damping values applied to something else and completely separate. And then these need to be taken out. These need to be applied elsewhere. So like to do, use, or apply modifiers here, or model modifiers here. Question mark. Okay. Bone translation, bone rotation. Wait, am I missing something here then? Wait a minute. Bone translation, bone rotation. I think this entire thing is kind of borked. I'm not sure how that happened. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. All right, model config, stay here. Bone interpolation data, bone translation, bone rotation, yes. But then these are not reflected here in model config. Wait a minute. And the listen values, interpolate bones. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Bone, oh, it uses the bone helper. Oh no, okay. I see. I've screwed myself through complexity. Through complexity, this has been made very difficult. Okay, so this needs to be changed to bone translation damping, bone rotation damping, right? Bone rotation, whatever, blah, blah. Add you here, Let's move you down here to the bone stuff. Ooh. Bone translation damping, bone rotation damping. It's not how you spell it. Then this is the specific gazes that need to be set as well. Gaze damping. Oh, and this one is just absolutely horrible. Oh, hello. Wonder how much dev time is lost to just remember what one did and why. It makes you, on a tool that looks at code and makes flowcharts. I think what most people do is they almost do the opposite of what you're suggesting. So they map out their code flows beforehand and then use that tool to kind of generate a skeleton for their projects. Or at least I know at least one chatter has brought up that type of programming. I personally have never used it in any of our projects. Usually all we do is we make the flowchart and then just kind of everyone agrees to follow the flowchart. Yeah, part of the reason why this is really hard is because I started the entire rewrite stuff pretty early on, or not pretty early on in the year, I should say. Let me see. So I committed this stuff 4 days ago, and we can look at this. Yeah, so I started this end of February. Then I squashed all the commits, but yeah. I think the unfortunate part about this part of the code is that interpolation data was never really, I guess, designed in. It was just kind of a stopgap at the time before I could, you know, come up with a better solution, and then I never did. And now I've just decided to use it as the permanent solution. So that's why we're in this jar of pickles. That's not an expression people use, but model config change. All right, so this, we need to match on key, which is going to be a little tough. No, okay. So let's organize this really quickly. So we have just the interpolation in general. I think, oh, I just want to spray work on the canvas and be done with it. Well, I may not agree with your choice of verbiage, I do agree with the general vibe. Describing programming as like spraying your work onto, or programming without a solid plan as spraying your work onto something is just an absolutely vile way to put it. But I'll let you do it. Like, it's not overtly like lewd, but it just it's just a bit weird. Or maybe that's just me trying to be so viscerally almost carnal with my descriptions. No, please continue. I appreciate it. It just took me aback for a second. It's not quite an innuendo, but it's almost there. Which, if we're being honest, is the highest form of innuendo. Is something that's not quite an innuendo, but could be taken as one. Relation. Region, gaze. Region, blinks. And region. Is it the highest form because it's the audience's fault for thinking about it in a sinful way? No, you got it. That's pretty much it. It's like, it's not intended. I mean, it was intended, but it's not like ultra obvious. It's like, is it an innuendo? It's not like, you know, it's not like saying like, oh, your words, they really stirred me up inside in my deepest bowels. It's like, what are you talking about? You know, it's too overt. Right. At some point it's not really an innuendo. You're just making dirty talk using non-standard words. Which, you know, that's fair. It's a very low form of comedy, which is also the form of comedy that I'm best at, unfortunately. But something that's almost an innuendo, but not quite. It's like, oh. Something that's meant as an innuendo, but does not sound like an innuendo. That's much better. It's like overt innuendo, that's like a 2 out of 10. Innuendo that doesn't sound like an innuendo, but still is meant as an innuendo, if that makes any sense, that's like I'd give it like a 9 out of 10. Just enough that it could be not missed, but makes you question it. Quirk, less damping. Okay. So now, model config change. This should be pretty quick since it's using a match. Although I don't know how match statements are implemented in GD script, so maybe it's not as fast as I'm thinking it is. But this should be bone stuff. Thank you very much, Isa, for the host. One of these days, I'll get around to updating my overlay to actually give me more information than I currently get. Bone, translation, damping. So both of these damping values should be handled No, these need to be very specific. Oh no. Because I see how I'm supposed to be handling this, and I don't want to handle it. This is my least favorite part of programming. Is like the task is so easy, but there's also not a simple way to just set everything all at the same time. Oh, good. It's fine. How are you doing? I am very tired. I am tired. You know, work sucks, the usual stuff. I have tomorrow off, but I actually need to I need to continue working tomorrow. It's one of those things where, you know, when you're a kid, people always say like, oh, you know, if you don't learn good time management skills when you're a kid, when you're not quite in the real world, you know, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. And let me tell you, never learned good time management skills when I was a kid. And now I'm in a lot of trouble. I'm very lazy. So is it a problem of my own making? Yes. But it does not change the fact that I'm tired from it. Yeah, you know, I let a lot of work pile up. And now I have to work on my days off. So, you know, that's fun. I also have these in the wrong order. Okay. Yeah, it's a lot of Ansible stuff. And it's a lot of Ansible stuff that I don't respect. So where Ansible is kind of like a chef or a puppet. Wait. No, I did this wrong. Yeah, it's like chef or puppets, so it's meant for system automation, all that good stuff. But for whatever reason, lots of stakeholders, when they, you know, they think of automation, they think, okay, like we're going to get rid of all our shell scripts. That's not it. that's not what you're missing the points. You're not supposed to. Don't do it. But then they do it. It's like, could you get rid of all your shell scripts when you're using like automation tooling like this? Yes. Should you? Absolutely not. But you know, current task at work is to get rid of all the shell scripts, replace them with Ansible playbooks, where Ansible playbooks are YAML files that are then executed by Ansible. So it basically becomes its own programming language. The situation will improve for you soon. Yeah, you know, the situation will improve as soon as I finish my work. You know, I suppose that's what I get paid to do as well, as deal with random garbage like that. Luckily, I can kind of cheat, because you can paste in shell scripts into an Ansible playbook. And then those should just work no matter what, unless your default shell is fish. But if you're using friendly interactive shell, you only have your own self to blame, because fish is the worst shell. Because it's not compatible with bash. Or it's not strictly compatible, unlike ZSH. And the thing is that people do things differently, and different things do and don't work for them. Learning time management skills can only get you so far if you're not wired for it. Possibly. You know, like I'm not trying to blame anyone for my mistakes. Like, clearly it is my mistake, right? But you know, should I have, you know, done it a little bit of a time over the course of the past week, 2 weeks? How long have I been working on this? Possibly 2 weeks. Yes, I should have. But instead, I was doing other stuff. Other stuff that was good for my career, to be sure, but It was still other stuff. Luckily, you know, instead of time management skills, I got really good at cramming and like doing things last minute, which I suppose is a form of time management. It's how do you manage, instead of managing like a large portion of time, you know, like multiple days, instead I've gotten really good at managing, you know, maybe time in the time span of 24 hours, and then being able to squeeze out every single ounce, every single gram. Well, what's the metric? what's the, it's the gram? Gram is metric, yeah. Every gram of work I can squeeze out of a small amount of time. Optimizing that. I suppose that's what I've gotten okay at. Okay. Although, the older I get, the harder it becomes to really optimize that. Yeah, so instead of being really good at long-term time management, I got pretty okay at the short-term time management, aka crunch. But the older I get, the harder it becomes to keep that up, right? Because it used to be, you know, need to pull an all-nighter, need to pull 2 all-nighters in a row, no problem. But now, you know, I can pull 1 all-nighter, that's not so bad, but then I'm out for the entire next day. All right, there's your bone translation. To do, that's not how you do comments. To do, bone rotation, and then this needs to be, I think this is just the damping value. Damping is equal to value. Oh, and then, well, no, these are all floats. Yeah, okay. If I'm personally making myself do things, it's a matter of integrating it into things I already do. So how do I make myself work on Ansible playbooks when pretty much all I do is just read manga? Read manga, watch YouTube videos. Riddle me this. If your answer is don't do that, I got bad news for you. Yeah, like I've been saying this, and I've been telling my, well, I was about to say my friends. I've only like mentioned this to one friend, only because it's a little shameful. But it's okay. You don't know me in real life, probably. That would be weird if you did. And I think working as a consultant, like a professional services consultant, so I'm not like independent consultant. I work as a consultant for a big tech firm, blah, blah. But I think it's absolutely ruined me in terms of work ethic. Now I've gotten really used to, you know, you're waiting for a build to finish, might as well read some manga. Or might as well just, you know, this build is going to take 30 minutes. Guess what? That's just about enough time to watch one episode of whatever the heck I want to watch. You hate to see that. And now I'm just not sure how I'm ever, like, if I ever lose this job, I don't know how I'm ever going to go back to like a regular, you know, you need to do this, this, and this on this time frame. All right, because all the projects I've kind of worked on so far have just involved like huge amounts of downtime. So Like, I don't know. Right, you're doing Java builds, whatever. Tests take about 30 minutes to run. You do infrastructure automation. It takes about an hour and a half to stand up a new cluster. Takes about 30 minutes to tear down the cluster. Like, I don't know. Like, even on my current stuff, it takes about 10 minutes to finish executing, you know, all these playbooks to completion, because they're all doing they're doing all sorts of configuration stuff, and you're limited because you need to wait for the actual. It's not really the actual box, the actual LPAR, which is a logical partition, which is a slice of a mainframe, basically. You need to wait for that to finish doing its thing. So that's, I don't know, man. I have lots of free time. My work ethic is 2 modes, and both are terrible. Either isolate myself for weeks at a time or burn out till you finish, or work 2 hours and come back to it in 3 months. Oh, baby. You know? For the former, way ahead of you. Already prefer to isolate myself for weeks at a time. One of my favorite things to do. Work 2 hours and come back to it in 3 months. I don't know. I feel like I'm the type of person to binge working. So like if I get into a good flow state, yeah. And then part of that flow state, of course, involves not having to wait for things to finish. So the more waiting that's involved, the more like, but I was about to use the term ADD. That's probably not the most modern way to call it. But the more distracted I'll get. So if there's the less forced downtime there is, the better. Which is why I like interpreted languages. Like I was working on a little bit of Rust yesterday, and I was like, man, I just gotta wait. I gotta wait a few seconds every single time I want to run this tiny program. I miss Python, where it just executes immediately, or GD script, right? Godot, it just executes immediately. I think this is okay. So I've run this. It's not currently being configured, but I think it set itself up properly. And then these damping values need to be set properly here. Okay, so these all have standard damping. Then this damping stuff should be applied properly, question mark. Yeah. I feel you. I'm probably like one of the worst persons to ask about work ethic. Or I think I have a good work ethic, copium, but I don't know how to describe it. If I get into the flow state, we're good. Just hope I never get pushed off of the flow state, in which case we're all about to have a horrible time. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Bone translation. So you are using this with, okay. So what I need to do is go into, where is it? Go into export and delete the metadata. Well, delete the duck.json and delete metadata as well. And you know what? Really should be deleting the rest of the stuff too. What am I doing? Go here. Puppets here. Exports. That's model. Exports. Delete this stuff. We don't need any of this stuff. This was for the last release, and I think for this stuff as well, I don't need to keep them here because they should be loaded in just from the project directory. So let's make sure I didn't screw myself here. All right, we're good. So then we'll take another peek at this just to make sure. Interpolation data. Bone helper, no, we don't care. Bone translation. Should interpolate. The should interpolate is not, that is the correct value because the global interpolation, is it here? Yeah. Bone translation, last value, blah, blah, global. Should interpolate, yes, global. Okay, cool. So then, actually, I think if I just go back to here, we'll move the model down a little bit. That's fine. Put it right here. Interpolation options. We still only have the, well, no. Oh. Null. Why are these null? Oh, it's because I didn't. I need to look at this again. Bones, these are all right. Need to change that later. And then tracking. All right, let's give this another try. So we'll turn off tracking here. Turn on tracking again. Turns back on. And then nothing is being applied, question mark. Although we are spamming the logs pretty heavily. Huh. So what happened? Puppet traits, puppet trait, puppet traits. Puppet trait. So that came from puppet trait. Yeah. And then the values it was giving me were just a bunch of zeros. Yeah. So translation and rotation are both zeroed out. So what was happening here? So default runner. I get this data from interpolation datas, and I'm interpolating them as well. I shouldn't need to. Oh, wait a minute. Didn't I make a change here? I feel like I remember this. So interpolate. The rate is the interpolation rate. Yeah. So it's not based off of delta. Yeah. Does this take in a value? Like, do I use interpolate anywhere like that? So interpolate. Where is this used? It's only used in this one instance. So actually, I don't need to feed in anything. Well, although I could, but there's no reason for this. I mean, it's okay, I guess. I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember why. I remember I used to be passing in delta here, but that's actually totally wrong. So we were hitting the print statement, so that's good. However, the translation I was getting, the translation and rotation values I was getting were wrong. And by wrong, I mean just zeros. That's weird though, because or I wonder if it's the interpolation. Huh. I mean, it shouldn't make a difference though. That shouldn't make any difference whatsoever. I wonder if it's this thing. Like, I know that Godot has trouble with functions with a huge amount of parameters. think that would be very unfortunate if this was causing a problem, though. Yeah, think about that. Interpolate. So if our last value, well, if our target value is always 0, or if our last value and target value are always 0, then we'll stay at 0. Yeah. I wonder if it's the damping amounts, but I've already checked, right? I've already checked. The thread shouldn't be running, so I should be able to introspect on this thing. Interpolation. Bone rotation, sure. So the last interpolation rate is 0, 1. That's fine. Last value is 0, but target value is... Oh, the interpolation rate is 0. Why? Yeah, so that explains it. Why is the interpolation rate 0? What happened? Or did it... Oh, is it because something failed to pull? Yeah. So if the interpolation rate is 0, then that makes sense that I'm getting a 0 from it, but that doesn't make any sense. So duck.json. We can just look at it. So bone interpolation rate is 0.1. That doesn't make sense. And then there's the bone damping. Yeah. What? 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 So this is the rate it should be using, which is 0.1, 0.1. If I go open this up again, we're in the landing screen. Send me to the new screen. Interpolation data, bone rotation, sure. Now we have an interpolation rate of 0. We go to model, interpolation options. We'll need to, I guess, capitalize it so it doesn't look this bad. So this is the, yeah, this is the correct rate. Eh? Eh? I think I'm doing something wrong. I think something is very, very wrong here. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, I think some of my logic is wrong here. Okay. So interpolation helper. So I'll interpolate global. Okay, it's almost like I need to set everything except for the global values, and then I set the global values. Otherwise, they don't set themselves correctly. All right, let's run through this. Something doesn't seem right here. Global rate changed. Yeah, so the save data is correct, but interpolation helper. Global rate changed. For ion interpolations, global rate changed. Yeah. Not should interpolate. Then our interpolation rate is our new value. Yeah. What is my global rate? Wait, is my global rate just borked? That could be it. I really don't think it is, though. Oh, my global rate is borked. You know what? That explains a lot, actually. But wait, no. Interpolate global. Base interpolation rate should be 0.1, not 0. Eh? Wait, what? Wait a minute. Looseness. That's not right. Global interpolation is not set to 0.1, but it should be pulling these values. Is it not pulling these values from here? So this has a damping of just 1, an interpolation rate of 0. Yeah. What? How? What is this setting? And why is it not? Oh, it does. Is global interpolation not hooked up? Hey. So go back to model. Go back to model. This is pretty ugly, but this is the best that you're gonna get. Move model. We don't care. Translation damp. Oh, these values are no longer valid. Additional bone damp should still be valid, though. I don't know why this one failed. But this should be called... Let's change this really quickly as well. So model config, this is... Additional bone damp is applied only to the model. So we'll separate it like that, just so we can keep things straight in my head. Bone rotation damp, and then I'll need to add a few more. It's not hard though. To add the rest of the damps. So something is wrong with this logic here. Or it's not this one, it's this one. Global, so global set both rates. Set both rates. So this should not be using an interpolation helper. This, because all the interpolation helper does is it wraps an interpolation object, because some interpolation objects share the same, well, should be, when certain options are applied to certain objects. So for bone helper, that wraps both bone translation and bone rotation, so that interpolate bones is a single flag that applies to both translation and rotation, yes. Because I don't see a use case for where you would only want to interpolate like bone translation, but not interpolate bone rotation. Or at least that sounds way too specific for my tastes. Like, could you like go down to that, you know, specificity? Yes. Should you? Absolutely not. But set both rates. I don't know. Something doesn't seem right here. Look at duck.json again. Global. Interpolate global, yes. Base interpolation, yeah. Base interpolation rate is correct. That's what I set it to. But then why is the value that it's being set to in the UI wrong? I just need to keep looking at it, and then it'll eventually come to it. So no, this value is right, but then the value that's actually being picked up by the interpolation data is wrong. Or actually, what did I call it? Global? Yeah. So this value is wrong. So last value, that we don't care. Target value also don't care. But interpolation rate should not be 0. So it is being picked up properly. But interpolate global. All right, I can set a breakpoint and then we can step through it. All right, so step me for both of these. I think that's the. I was trying to avoid doing this, but I guess this is where we're at. So what is the value? Value is true. I think that's true. Oh, I see. I think it's because the order matters here. I think that's, yeah, I see. Okay, so interpolate global, right? If it's false, if it's true or false, it doesn't matter which one it is. You'll either set it to the last interpolation rate, which is defaulted to 0, or it'll be set to 1, which is a bit weird. So both of these are wrong. So I need to interpolate global, or I need to load in interpolate global first and then interpolate rates. Or I guess this is, oh, you know what? We're not even picking up that am I picking that up correctly? Base interpolation rate. Yeah, base interpolation rate. Okay. You're really gonna make me do it. So I probably need to. Okay. Yeah. So 1, I had the wrong key, so we weren't even handling the key. But 2, here I need to ensure that we do this in a certain order. So 1, we need to have the Boolean flags set first, because these are always going to be set to some garbage. Or actually, no, we need to set the rates first and then set the flags, right? So when we set the rates, it just sets the rates. It doesn't matter. But then when we set the flag will try to use the interpolation rate or use a default rate, which is usually 0. Yeah, okay. Okay, that's a hard bug to track down. Okay. But I got it. So first things first, turn this back on. That's a tough one. I hate it when order of operations matters. All right. All right, let's set all of these separately. So this one. So this is like interpolate flags, right? And then we'll have const interpolate rates, something like that. Boom, boom. Grab. No. Yes. No. Yes. No. Yeah. Yes. Like this. So I'll grab all of these. These are all the flags, and then damping isn't really a rate, and actually damping we don't even. It doesn't matter which order we do damping in. But I think I do 100% need to do these in separate steps. Something like that. So So let me grab the rate. So all the rates are more or less separate, I think. Which is very fortunate for me, I think. All right, almost there, almost there. So now we have our damps. Okay, okay. This is a very complicated system, yes. Is it justified in how complicated it is? Also, yes, I think. All right, we'll get ready to comment this out. So this is going to start throwing some errors. So now what we need to do is something like this, but instead of doing listen values where everything is just all at once, we'll do interpolate rates. So we'll set the rates first. We'll do the same thing here, except for the damps. And then the flags. That's not flags. Interpolate flags. Thank you. Thank you for listening to me. Windows, I'm not even sure how you're listening to me, but you gave me the correct autocomplete hints. All right, that should be more correct now. So when we go into here, we can check the values for interpolation data. Observe that they are correct now. Oh, baby. So they're no longer being clobbered, which is good, which means we'll go back out to here, turn off tracking, come back to here, turn on tracking, or get ready to turn on tracking. Head bone should always be tracked. I'll need to change that eventually, but we'll get around to it. Start tracking here. Oh geez. I think it's actually, yeah, that's correct. Yeah, that's more or less correct, except the rotation needs to be offset. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. He's done it. Let's go. I'm very, very familiar with how this looks, so this might look very wrong. This might look very wrong, but just you have to understand. Back when I was first figuring this stuff out, this is pretty much all I was seeing at the time. So this is right. Yeah, I'm looking left, right, up, down, rotate side to side. Yeah. So what I do in this current application is I set the tracking offsets, because this is how the data comes to me. Actually, well, this isn't really how the data comes to me. The data comes to me slightly offset in the kind of downwards right direction. For some reason, the data is being offset, I guess, in the opposite direction. I don't know how to describe it, but that's fine. All I need to do is store this initial position and then use that initial position to zero everything out. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. Oh, stop this. Look at that. I think that still looks pretty good though. So we'll kill this. We're very, very close. There's a few other things I still need to do. That's remarkably close to being correct. Something I really don't like though is this. I really don't like this. I wonder if there's a way for me to set. You might be saying, "Oh no, is he doing it?" And I'm thinking about doing it. So what if we might do a little bit of code generation? Oh no. Might do a little bit of code generation. It's kind of like in this format. So you must use a very specific notation. And then using this, we'll figure out pretty much, it's like almost like a define, right? So like imagine we were using like define. And then you can use this to generate, you know, random bits of code that can then be pulled in by whatever, your consumers. So instead of having to maintain this list here, I can instead just keep everything where it was defined previously, almost like an annotation in Java. So we'll have access to metadata straight on the object, and then I'll just have to write my own, I guess, like little code parser thingy. Be sure to increase the scope of your project so you can be further from your goals. Oh, you know, don't worry, way ahead of you there. Originally, the scope of the project was just to get something tracking, and then I'll move on. But now here we are. Like, the scope of the project has increased pretty considerably. Like, check this out. So one of the things I want for this project, I suppose this is something that would have came up anyways in any one of my future projects. But here, look at this. The debug console, not currently functional, not just yet anyways, but it's a debug console. So how most debug consoles work in other Godot projects is that it's really just like a pre-written script. You don't actually have control, like anything. You don't have direct control over Godot stuff. You must predefine all your functions, which is all fine and dandy, I suppose. But if we look at this thing, REPL GD, look at this. And we don't even need to do it as a standalone thing. So this works in the editor as well. Check this out. It's a true debug console. So you can type in, well, I suppose you can't really see it, so because my duck is blocking the way, so we can do this like this. So check this out. Don't know if you've seen this. I did post this in the Godot Discord. Got a little bit of eyes on it, but I feel like most people aren't impressed by the idea of this. Most people don't realize they need a debug console until they need it. But check this out. So you can do get tree, look at that. Fire that off, null, that's fine. But this is the actual scene tree that's in use right now, right, for our demo thingy. How cool. So then we can do var sprite is equal to sprite new. So that's a new sprite, right? Then sprite texture is equal to load. We'll grab this thing because it's in the same project, so it should be able to load it. And then one of our special things, store var. We'll call it hello. Store this as a thing that we can access later. And then add child sprite. So check this out. Boom. It's right there. How cool. How cool. I think this just added it directly to the scene tree, which is not quite correct, but that's fine. But then we can also edit things like this. So name is equal to hello. Why not? So there it is. There's our sprites. Sprites global position is equal to OS window size divided by 2. All right, well, my bad. It's not called sprite, it's called hello. Look at that. Beautiful. So it gives you, I wrote a thing that gives you direct access to your scene tree in the form of a REPL. And then you can even define your own functions. You can see that we can even look at variables. We can store references to them. You can delete references to them. That's fine. We can have like func, move right. So this takes in some sort of node and then amount. blah, blah. So node.global position x plus equals amount, something like that. So then there's our function called move right. So then we can even do this. So we'll do move right, hello, and then we'll move it to, I don't know, 100, I suppose. We can run it again. Look at that. Look at that. It's beautiful. So it's pretty much whatever. It does everything you would expect from a debug console, but then it also gives you just direct access to the game as a whole, which is neat in my opinion. You can even do get tree quit to quit the application like that. Yeah, there we go. just had to force it to update a little bit. Look at that. So then the idea is I'll take this, insert it into this application, because one of the hard parts is, you know, debugging. Because one of the downsides of running or working with threads in Godot, one of the few downsides, or one of the many downsides, I should say, is that you aren't able to introspect on the scene tree if there is a thread running. So that's what the debug console is for, is that now I can introspect on the scene tree, even though I am currently running stuff on a thread, and then I can start modifying properties on the fly without having to, you know, not have the thread run. Because I need the thread running because I need, you know, receiving data requires a separate thread. Otherwise, you'll get a lot of stuttering in your application. So yeah. All right, tell you what, I'm going to refill my drink. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. All right. All right, so now all I need to do is add support for blah, blah, blah. What am I looking for? Unhandled inputs. Okay. So something I was doing before was just directly handling it here. So you need to press UI accept. Oh yeah, it's right here. Yeah, it's to do stub. Yeah, you know what? Sounds about right. Let's see, model, no, default runner. Lots of to-dos here. All right, so this shouldn't be done like this. Physics step, delta, we're not using it. Blah, blah. Save offset. So have I defined that yet? I have not. All right, so save offsets. Save offsets. All right, so this one should be pretty easy, right? So here, let's hit it with a save offsets. And then also, once tracking starts, it should also just, hey, once tracking starts, it should do that stuff as well. Actually, you know what? How does... Oh, that's how this works. Okay. So if not stored offsets. Actually, yeah. So I do need to have save offsets defined here, but then also in physics step, I should be doing this. If not stored offsets, then we want to save the offsets. Yeah. Do I have any offsets defined initially? Stored offsets. I do. All right. So we can change this. Stored offsets. Sure. Okay. Yeah. That's pretty much it. Go back to the vertical screen, or the double screen, because I am looking at my old code. All right. I'll do that. Just add more and more to-dos, because I need to think about how do I want this to interact with the current tracker that's in use. But for now, we'll just hard code it to OpenCFace, and then we'll come up with a better solution later. Not the greatest of plans, to be sure, but oh, this one is that's interesting. I didn't realize the current iteration of the code was always creating a new stored offsets object. Huh. Stored offsets is equal to null. I prefer this check instead of using a truthy falsy value. Truthy falsy values, not the greatest IMO. So stored offsets is equal to stored offsets new. All right, so translation offset is, we need to grab the data. Okay, so data. All right, to do hard coded. So I'll think about it. Data translation. How does this work? Get translation. Stored offsets. Rotation offset is data. Tracking data interface. Yeah. So data, get rotation. So we get some nice code completion. Quaternion doesn't, okay. Get Euler. Yeah. Want all dev concepts explained with slightly cutesy terms like truthy, falsy? Well, you could be the change that you want to see in the world. You know, aren't most like programming concepts are already kind of cute, right? So like you have the concept of a stack and a queue. I guess those aren't really cute. Those are just like things that exist in the real world. You know, pointers. That's an address, which is something that also exists in the real world. If you want to make it cute, you could always make it like pointy instead of pointer. That would be pretty sick. You know, I have a pointy to an array. Quad offset. All right. 2 Godot quad. I don't think I used that, but that's fine. Data get rotation. Gotta use a booly wooly for the binary value. It's beautiful. So we're going to set our data get rotation comes to us as a quati. Our rotation, very rotation-y. Our translation is very, I'm not saying that, because that could get me into a lot of trouble. Let's see, corrected Euler. This is something I also have to do here. I should probably keep this just somewhere else as a default thing, runner trait here, which is like a private function, static function. It's like normalize radian, I suppose. Where it's like normalize degrees. Yes. All right, so wait, hold on. Hold on. So this gives you back a vector 3. Wait a minute. Normalize degree. And then you need to decide which one you want to normalize. Hey. I guess that's okay. Right, normalize degrees and then I guess position. So I'll force myself to use a direct position, but then we can do if value position is less than 0. Hey. Return, wait. New value is value position. And then if new value is less than 0, then new value is equal to 360 plus new value. Sure. Actually, plus equals, that has the same effect. Oh, and then this should not be a float. This should be a vector 3. Value position is equal to new value return value. Something like that. That's very confusing, actually. Let's call this vector. Vector, vector, vector. So is there a way to make this better? We add the posi to the vecti to make it a normie. I feel like there should be a way to optimize this. But maybe not. Yeah, there's not really like a... Godot doesn't have function chaining. I suppose function chaining isn't very efficient anyways. So that's fine. Here. And all we're really doing as well is this. Corrected Euler is equal to Normalize degrees, data, get Euler, 0, hey. Oh yeah, then we take this out. And then here, default runner, stored offsets on the right here. Stored offsets. I don't remember what the Euler offset, or I don't remember how the Euler offset is different from the rotation offset. Oh no. But normalize degrees, or normalize, it's not really normalize degrees, but it's like normalize Euler. And this is actually, I'm pretty sure I use the Euler offset pretty often, don't I? Yeah, I use the Euler offset instead of just the rotation. So maybe I shouldn't actually build this in. Maybe I should just be using the rotation offset. Here I'm using the Euler offset, and then I don't use the rotation offset at all. So there's no, yeah. So I'll change this to use the rotation offset, because otherwise there's no point. Rotation offset, data, get Euler. This should be data, get additional info, and then this one is just completely raw. Raw Euler. But actually, hold on. So if we go to OpenCFace, whatever is giving me here, OpenCFace, no, not OpenCFace features, but OpenCFace date. No, yes. Return features. Or no, get Euler. Oh no, get Euler already. Okay, I changed this on this end actually. Amazing. Get Euler, or get rotation. Phenomenal. Right. No, that's get Euler. Oh, get Euler. What am I doing? Get Euler. And then we'll want to normalize degrees. And then pass in the index, and yeah, should be fine. Run a trade. Normalize Euler. Sorry, normalize Euler. Change that here, and in default runner, normalize Euler. Normalize that. That's fine. And then down here, normalize Euler. So quad offset, we don't really need to have the quad offset. Euler offset don't need at all. Stored offsets, I need to change that. Yeah, so the no more Euler offset. Euler offset is just the rotation offset, which I think breaks. I think that breaks some of my tests. We'll see. Stored offsets. Left gaze offset is equal to data. Get left eye Euler. Yeah. Right eye's gaze offset data, get right eye Euler, something like that. And then the idea behind those interfaces is that you should be able to, like, using all of this data, right? Tracking backend only exposes the data that you actually need for the most part. So of course it can always be extended. You can add more methods to it, whatever. But these are the bare minimums. These are the basics that you need for all kinds of tracking. All right, I think that's okay. So stored, save offsets should be fine. Turn off tracking here. I'll go here. Go into tracking. Start tracking. It's mirrored, except for rotation, which is not mirrored. So when I tilt my head up, it's tilting down, or it's like the model is flipped. So like this, it's almost like what you're looking at right now is the back of my head. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So oh, you know what? I'm missing this part. So when I load in a model, I need to have various adjustments added to it. So let's stop that. Yeah. So we're almost there. This is almost good enough for an alpha. This is almost there. And then I can finally sigh a deep sigh of relief. It was not all for naught. I mean, it's pretty close to being all for naught, but not yet. All right, so let's re-implement the adjustments, and I think I should make the adjustments configurable as well. I think I have the adjustments here. Yeah, translation adjustment and rotation adjustment. So these are things that should actually be exposed in the UI. But for now, we'll just keep it like this. So load model, then based off of whatever the stuff is. Load model doesn't actually do anything here, which is good, which means we don't want to do any of this stuff. Results, try load model, blah, blah. If model is not null, then we'll unwrap it and get that stuff. Model name, we try to load the config. Oh, and then I need to actually apply the model stuff to it as well. Oh yeah, okay. Because there are several things we need to apply to each model, or in this case, I'm calling them puppets. So what things do I usually apply? Or no, the model pulls all this stuff here, so we don't need to worry about that, I think. So AM, okay, so this loads it and then sets it. Yeah. Yeah, okay. I just send and receive tracking data over the net for collaboration. I was working on that. For a little bit somewhere. So it was a Golang based thingamajig. You would need to provide the other party your IP address, which is the scary part, but it did technically work. So it worked via WebSocket. It was beautiful, but then I refactored the program 3 times and now I'm rewriting it. So but sending and receiving, not hard. The only hard part is that like you need to find someone who's willing to host it. So like I'm willing to host like a static website. That's not hard, or something that is not real-time data. But as soon as we get to like real-time data stuff, I'm not willing to do that for free. Because you know, hosting website, that's fine. That's $40 a month for me, and I can put my own stuff on it. But like streaming data, that's a lot of throughputs. You know, especially because, you know, I use DigitalOcean for all my hosting. DigitalOcean has free ingress, but egress costs money, which is tough. I suppose actually what I could do is almost how WebRTC works. So WebRTC, you need to have like an in-between signaler. I forget what the actual terms, but you set up like a signaler which then gives both parties or all parties everyone's IP addresses, encrypted, of course. You can still catch them via like Wireshark or something, any packet sniffer, and that's how it sets up a UDP connection between all parties. At least I think that, from what I understand, that's how WebRTC works, is that it uses a signaling server, and then that signaling server, all it does is it provides everyone else's IPs, and then that's how you get a UDP connection. So I suppose that's how I could do stuff as well. It's like a fake WebRTC connection. I mean, for collab, it's got to be peer-to-peer, running services blur, turn server. Yeah. Yeah, I'm okay with writing that. That's not super hard. Yeah, I don't know why that just occurred to me. Like, oh, just do the WebRTC thing. Like, I can provide the signaling server. That's no problem. That's easy. What am I doing? Oh, I'm checking the extension. Yeah, the extension. File extension is equal to path get extension, and then we want to match file extension to lower, and so this needs to be if it's just a raw GLB, there's a few things I need to do to it, which are listed here. So the translation adjustment needs to be set to translation adjustment. Or I wonder if I just change how this gives me the data, because the way that I interpret each packet, I can just change that. Yeah, this part right here. Like, this part is the hard part. I still need I need a trip sitter for this information. But everything else, I don't think any of the 3D model based VTube apps have network features, so you'd be the first to punch probably. Okay, you know, I mentioned this before, but you know how VC Face has like little props and stuff that you can attach to your model? I actually had that first, and then I promptly broke it after I rewrote the UI, but the remnants of that are still available here. Like, so add custom prop, blah, blah, open a file, and you used to be able to load in images, you used to be able to load in 3D models. You could even load in your model twice, which had interesting results and also just absolutely killed FPS. Yeah, so I had it at some point. But then did not care enough to actually fix it for reals. For realsies. Oh, you know what? I don't need to do it like this. I just need to look at the initial runner traits. So runner traits, and then I can rotate them like this. So load model, blah, blah, we don't care. Load GLB, so load GLB, default runner. Load GLB, path. If res is error, then just return the resource, or return the results otherwise. Take your pride where you can get it. You burn your work down like the Library of Alexander. That's a very specific reference. Wasn't the Library of Alexandria? Or am I thinking of something else? Scale object local. Nope. We'll keep it like this for now. Here, think if I just, yeah, actually, yeah, if I just convert all of these, if I turn all of these around, then I don't need to make any adjustment at all. Then the rotation adjustments, I just need to rotation, raw Euler, rotation. Wait, no, I'm using the raw. Wait a minute. I think these are still wrong. I really feel like I should not be using the raw Euler. This should be using the rotation. Otherwise, I'm just wasting my time calculating the rotation here. If I mess it up, I'm concerned too lazy to check. Don't worry, I'll check it for you. The Library of Alexandria. Yeah, Library of Alexandria. I thought this sounded familiar. Alexandria. I'll have you know, I was very, very good at history back in high school. Although I can say I am not the first one to do real-time face tracking in Godot. Although the first one to do it was like 2016, back when Godot 2 was still new. So, you know. I think the rotation here, this value, I'm trying to remember why I don't use these values anymore. Because it looks like the rotation adjustments I make for pretty much every single model is slightly wrong. So this one, I think this is more correct. This one I need to think about. Raw Euler. Or is the raw Euler just actually what I need? Or maybe I should actually be correcting it? Question mark? Hey. Hold on. Hold on. So this is very intensely based off of the reference project. Before it was cool. Hey. Yeah, before face tracking was cool. I'm assuming that's what I said when you posted that message. Or sent that message, sorry. My age is showing. I still talk as if we're in like a message board. Where are message boards? Those were the days. Back when I was in high school, my friend set up got one of those like free forum thingies, and we set up like a forum for all our friends. What do kids do nowadays? Or what did nerds do nowadays? I suppose not every kid set up a forum for their entire friend group. What do nerds do nowadays? Do they just have a Discord server? So this is this modulos it. Yeah. Turns the floating point remainder of a divided by b, keeping the sum. Wait. Yeah, this is the remainder. Yeah. What am I doing? So this is I think this is right. I feel like I don't need this part because I just don't use it, and I might as well just apply this normalized Euler thing here right now. So that we take our rotation X is just our raw Euler. We've been passing in our raw Euler here. So then here, because I'm also optimizing this for Godot, we can do rotation. Don't negate it. I don't know why I'm negating it here, but we'll take oh, you know what? This is being normalized for VRM models. That's why they negate it. But here, my program supports non-VRM models as well. So VRM should be considered a like a specialty almost. I guess we'll just do like rotation X if rotation X is greater than 0, else rotation X plus 360, I guess. 360 0, like that. Yeah, that sounds about right. And then we don't need to do normalized Euler anymore? Question mark. So then we can just return the regular rotation. And then get rotation is actually the quaternion, which is, I think it's also like, that's also fair. Yeah. Something like that. I don't know if that's correct. I'm getting very nervous. I'm getting very, very nervous. But at the very least, translation adjustment. Do I still need a translation adjustment for this if I have fixed this stuff? Yeah, so I don't think I need a translation adjustment at all. Rotation adjustment, I still probably need to... Wait. I still probably need to flip the y-axis, probably. So translation adjustment can stay like this. Ben Stein, deadpan voice. Euler, Euler, Euler. Who's Ben Stein? The name sounds very familiar, but it's just not ringing any bells as of right now. And also, it's like, you know you've been playing too much Genshin Impact. when the first thing I read wasn't Euler, I saw Eula. Eula, Eula, Eula. Oh no. Translation adjustment is equal to vector 3. Actually, yeah, it's just vector 3, 1, right? Ben Stein was one of Nixon's speechwriters at some point. Went on to have an acting career, referencing Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Don't worry, I've seen the movie a very long time ago. Which one was Ferris Bueller's Day Off? I watched all of those kind of movies. The only one I remember from like binging all those movies though was Waterboy. Who's is that Jim Carrey? Are those all Jim Carrey movies? And honestly, the only thing I remember from Waterboy is You Can Do It. That's pretty much it. Waterboy is Adam. Oh, Adam Sandler. Sorry, is Ferris Bueller's Day Off not? Sorry, who is Jim Carrey? Jim Carrey. Oh, that's Jim Carrey. Really? Okay, I've been thinking of the wrong person for a very long time. Jim Carrey was The Mask. Oh. The Mask was one of those movies I try to block out of my mind. Cause isn't it like one of the scenes in the movie is him like having the mask fused to his skin? Doesn't he like it like attaches to his skin at some point and he's like yeah. Something like that, yeah. I feel like I remember like having nightmares about that. They stopped at some point though, I don't remember. So low GLB. That's okay. And then I need to apply the translation adjustments here, or the random adjustments. So translation adjustment times rotation adjustment. Jim Carrey based PTSD. Straight these days. Yeah. I'm glad it was a relatable enough experience because I don't remember like anything from The Mask. Except that like, you know, green man, green face. Like it's not The Mask isn't supposed to be a horror film, right? Like it's supposed to be kind of a comedy. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Would you look at that? We're back, baby. I still don't quite understand why the rotation needs to be adjusted like this. But maybe that's all right. Maybe that's all right. Actually, stop this thing for now. Get rid of all the normalized Euler stuff. I don't think I need to normalize any Eulers anymore, maybe. So we'll take this part out. All right, run me one more time. I think we're almost there now. Then I just need to port all this over to the VRM stuff. Also, I would like to report that this did not work how I thought it would either. It's a cartoony comedy based on an ultra-violent comic book. Okay. Sounds like the perfect kids movie. Children's film. Okay. But yeah, look at that. Now I just need to replace the background with the green screen. And then, yeah. Either green screen the background or have like a transparent one, which is possible in this application as well. So you can see here that you can either use, you need to turn off, use FXAA, but then you can do this and you can see through it. It does absolutely kill OBS because OBS, you need to use game capture if you want to use a transparent background. Something like that. Very strange that they chose to make it a family-friendly comedy for sure. Yeah. What was even The Mask about? I mean, that's the only thing I can remember from The Mask is the like the fusing scene. All right, get rid of this. Kill this. Bring this back. I need a sneeze. All right. I found the mute button just in time. All right, so let's do this for VRM as well. I think something that's unfortunate is that it's not saving any changes I make to the model in the actual runner, but we can get around to that. So VRM, So this extends default runner, so we can get rid of this. Extension resources. Let me see. I think this is wrong. This should be using the VRM loader stored in... Actually, no. The VRM loader is still stored in add-ons. VRM loader. Actually, I think I can move that out. So it's kind of its own thing, but we'll think about that. We'll think about that. Set up scene should just be using whatever default runner is using. Yeah. So assets, VRM models. I think that's still fine. Hard-coded for testing. Yeah, setup scene, so we'll still do... We'll do whatever the heck we were doing before, right? So this should just be setup scene. That's fine. Let me see. Or actually, it's kind of hard to do all this setup scenes stuff. My synopsis: main character is a timid guy who's too scared to pursue their desires, and they find the mask that turns them into an uninhibited cartoon wild man they use to do whatever they normally wouldn't. All right, it's not really ringing any bells, but I'll take your word for it. Take your word for it. Let me see. Set up scene. Or I feel like I need to change this into like a setup scene. Like, so there's like a pre-setup, setup, and then post-setup. Something like that. And then this stuff I need to not have implemented in ready. So we'll do all this stuff. Setup logger, that's fine. Unhandled input we're inheriting from you, so that should be okay. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of movies though from my childhood I should probably rewatch. Like what's the Adam Sandler one where it's not Waterboy. Is it Ferris Bueller's Day Off where he meets like the teacher or something, or he's like, is Ferris Bueller's Day Off the one where he's a rich kid but he's also like super dumb, and then his dad is like, I'm not gonna let you inherit the family business? Which one am I thinking of? Is that that's not Waterboy either. Ferris Bueller's Day Off is not Sadler. Okay. What is Ferris Bueller's Day Off? That's starting to bother me because I know I've seen it. I know I've seen it. I just don't remember anything about it. All right, let's spoil myself. It's really not ringing any bells though. That's so weird. This is one of the films I know I've seen. Oh, that's weird. Kid skips school, hijinks. What's the one I'm thinking of? Where Adam Sandler plays a kid, a man-child who lives with his dad and or parents, and his dad is super rich, but then he's like, I'm not gonna let you inherit the company, whatever. And so he like crams with his hot teacher, and they play like It's like strip poker, but it's not strip poker because they're just reviewing school material. Probably Billy Madison. Yeah, that sounds familiar. Billy Madison. That one's Adam Sandler, right? Billy Madison. Yeah. Sandler. It's not Sadler. Why am I keep saying Sadler? Sandler. That sounds. Yeah. Madison Hotels. Yeah. It's weird how many movies I've seen I just don't remember too much about. It's like I've seen the entirety of The Pianist, but I just don't remember like anything from it. Alright. VRM runner. Type runner. But this is the runner. What the heck? Extension. So I don't need any of this stuff actually. So we do setup scene, and then I feel like I need to go into here and then just have a setup, pre-setup, like a pre-setup, setup, and then post-setup. That makes it easier to extend stuff, basically. Pre-setup scene. That way with books, I have to read books multiple times to recall them outside of I liked it. I don't know. I feel like when I read books, I really only need to read them once, and then I feel pretty solid about it. But anything that has an audio component, I don't remember at all. Yeah, pretty much like anything audio related is my worst nightmare. Cause I don't know, like it's like the same thing when I go to like a lecture. So if there's no written material, everything is just, you know, listen to this person talk at you for an hour. I'll remember the start of the lecture and the end of the lecture, which is like, this is what the lecture is about. You know, basically fall asleep in the middle, wake back up at the end. All right, thanks for coming to the lecture. I was, I see. But if you give me something to look at, I'm like, all right, that's my jam. I can do this. So this is the camera stuff, so we'll put this in pre-set up. Something like that. Because camera doesn't have anything to do with tracker stuff. Let me see. Trackers should probably also be here. Something like that. Those mortal forms with their various cognitive failures, yeah. It's tough existing in meat space. You know, one day I endeavor to become one with cyberspace in such a way that we may live forever, etc., etc. I don't know. If you had the chance to upload yourself into a computer, would you do it? And I suppose like as part of that, it would have to also like kill you immediately as soon as the upload is complete. Because otherwise, then there would just be two U's existing at the same time, which is very unoptimal, to say the least. I don't know. I feel like if I had the chance to be like, we can just upload your brain into a computer and you'll just be a robot for the rest of your life, which is almost forever, I guess, until your human mind starts to really break down, or there's a glitch and then you're just accidentally deleted forever. I don't know. I feel like I might take it, as long as it also like 100% totally killed me as well. So we do this entire setup stuff. So the pre-setup is fine, and we'll just have to re-implement this part, which is not the hardest thing in the world. I guess we'll just copy and paste this over. Because this is the most correct. Oh, hold on. Ooh, okay. Need to change this part. Anything below... no, I can't just do this. I mean, I totally can just do this. Because there's nothing special I'm doing here. Yeah, there's nothing special I'm doing here. Okay. Everything except for a default model path. Okay, cool. So then we'll load into here. Oh, also for VRM, we'll need to do some rotation stuff as well. Just want my memory to be an infallible record of my body's sensory input, but if my old meat must be destroyed, then I would avoid it till I was on my deathbed because an unknown continuation of experience or not. Hey. Ideally, you have your meat upgraded in place, slowly replaced over time. But then you run into the ship of Theseus problem, right? Where, yeah, you know, as long as like, you replace enough bits of you, eventually you're no longer the original. We already ship. Who are we shipping? Translation adjustments is equal to... What am I using here? So this should be -1, 1, -1, something like that. Factor 3. So this one here, -1, -1. This is... I think the rotation is always going to be a little wrong for whatever reason. Yeah, but it's basically the... Yeah. I need to figure out how to fix this Y value. I think the Y value is just always bad for whatever reason. So it's not different every 7 years, new cells. Is it? It's not like you're entirely different though, right? There's still like old cells, like the interior bits of your bone are not being replaced, right? There's only if there's like a damage to your bones. Like I suppose like the microfractures that you accrue on a day-to-day basis, sure. But you're not like losing bits of your bone, are you? Is that how that works? Or do your bones also just replace themselves every like 7 years, more or less? And your brain almost certainly does not, right? Once you hit maturity as a human being, it's all downhill from there, right? More or less. Like you can form new memories, but you don't, your neurons don't really replenish themselves anymore. Like what you got, I mean, what you got is what you got, pretty much. All right. Okay, so I do need to flip this thing. Am I not flipping it? Oh, maybe I wasn't flipping it at all. Oh, and then this is wrong as well. All right, kill this. So we'll flip you, run this one more time, VRM runner, using the whatever GUI we have. Looks a bit lewd, but just ignore this. I need to flip the model though. Model transform is model transform rotated up. Am I all? Oh, I'm all. Okay. I'm doing that. I'm doing it by accident. Okay. Try load model. Actually, no, I don't need to try load model like this, right? And actually, all of these I don't even need to do any of this. Yeah, this translation adjustment stuff is actually also wrong, because this should be built into the loader. Yeah. So if I get rid of this, hold on. I think I'm confusing myself. I'm making this very complicated for no reason at all. A little over-engineered, if you will. So turn this off. Has my rotation adjustment not been taking effect? So go here. Run me. That's fine. Oh, my rotation adjustment has not been taking any effect. That's interesting. So left to right, up, down. That's weird. Alright, well, we can stop this, and that should automatically stop the tracker as well. Turn me back on. I've been mistaken. Would not be the first time. To know more about biology, but being replaced a little at a time, you retain continuity of experience, which to me seems more likely to ensure being the same being. Sure. I feel like it's more of a philosophical question, just like the ship of Theseus, right? So like Theseus. So like if you were to, like for example, if you were to, replace the screen on your phone, is it the same phone? It's like, yeah, it's still my phone. Yeah, and then you keep replacing interior bits and you keep using it as your phone the entire time, then it's like, yeah, it's still the same phone. Actually, this should have worked. What the heck? Wait a minute. So try load model, load model will run try load model, which calls the super function, sure. Okay, give me 1 sec. So if I just hit it with a print, I really shouldn't use print. I should use logger info. Loading. This should have worked. There's a lot of things that should have worked in this, but here we are. I think if everything worked the first time, I wouldn't need to rewrite it, right? Heh, not yet implemented. Not yet implemented. Heh? Why? And also, this did not use my custom one. What the heck? And also, why am I getting hit with a not yet implemented? Yeah. Not yet implemented? Where? Not yet implemented. Who was it? Who is printing not yet implemented using the default logger? Give me 1 sec. All right. So tracking backend dummy, sure. That's fine. Oh, it's these things. I see. But wait, did I not implement these on OpenCFace data? Oh yeah, it is. It is just here, huh? Okay. So there's no gaze tracking just yet. I don't remember what I was supposed to do there though. Oh, actually, no. I know exactly what to do here. What the heck? This is supposed to be return left gaze get Euler. Yeah. Why didn't I implement these? This is so easy. Okay, cool. Optimization is all about rewriting what isn't broken? Perhaps, perhaps. But isn't broken, describing something as broken is just a matter of perspective. Is it really broken, or is it just something that is not quite working yet? Am I right? All right, I think that's okay. I still need to figure out why this is necessary. Because this should have been a GLB adjustment. So, and then the translation, all this is reversing this inner value, which I've already done here when I changed this to just completely flip the translation. But then the rotation adjustment is completely wrong now, which is weird. Oh, actually, no, this should, no, yeah, no, that's right. But it doesn't call this function, right? I should be getting a logger info loading kind of thing here. Okay, so let's go to default runner. Where is it? Default runner. Give me a breakpoint here. So it's not calling it. That's good. Load model. All right, give me a hit here. Boom, boom. So we hit load model. Try load model. Step into that. File. Check to see if it exists. We find all the loaders, but does find loaders, does that need to be re-implemented in every other thing? So load GLB. So does this only call it in the current file? So this needs to be re-implemented all the way up the chain? That's kind of a pain if that's how you have to do it. Or is it just like you need to call it in the current call? Oh, you know what? That might be it. The program does what you mean it to do. I consider that working, not broken. So making it perform better is a reason to rewrite it, even though it works. Okay. I suppose we are optimizing it then under that logic. Try load model. Try load model path. Okay, so if I do it like this, does this mean I hit this function here? It's a default runner. So we should hit this breakpoint now that we're calling it in the current class. No, we don't. Or is it like... That's a huge pain, because that's not how I want this to work. Load GLB. So I'm assuming it's stepping into. That's tough. All right, one sec. Send me into here. Try load model. Method name is load. Oh, it's loading a text scene. Oh, I forgot. Okay. I forgot that's how that worked. I forgot. Okay, that's my bad. The duck is a text scene, not a GLB. Load scene, path, string. So we'll do load scene, path, if res is error, then just return that immediately. Think about philosophical questions is not they have any one answer, it's just about deciding where you personally want to draw your lines to decide things well enough for everyday use. I suppose. The answer is too clean. It buns everything up, wraps everything up too easily. I prefer an answer with a bit more strife. Because chaos is how you really determine the worth of a person. I don't think I actually believe that, but a little bit of chaos does make things a bit more interesting, as opposed to just having a set answer. I follow you. I follow you. I follow. You must convert. You. WebGL Studio, the editor for shaders. Is this a bot? Are they a bot? They've been following since a long time. So I guess they're like a sleeper agents. We can check their message history. I come here to code. No, I don't think they're a bot. WebGL Studio though? Isn't like that's not the what's the shader toy? Yeah, shader toy is what most people use for shaders, right? Shader toy is what most people use. But I suppose I can click on webglstudio.org. Is this a virus? Formerly known as WebGL. Isn't this the same thing? What the heck is this? WebGL Studio, formerly known as WebGL Studio, the same name. So, is it also in the future going to be known as WebGL Studio? It's technically not an incorrect statement. You know, just like I'm known as Team UN, also formerly known as Team UN, and also in the future rebranding to be known as Team UN. Implicit underscore in the name. Yeah, okay, so yeah, this is just WebGL stuff. I don't really do any shader thingies though. Can I do shaders? Yes, shaders require a lot of math though that I'm not a huge fan of trying to puzzle out for myself because I'm lazy. Alright, let's try this one more time. Turn on tracking. Okay, that's correct. Look at that. Alright, we're back. We're back. Finally back in it. Alright. I forgot that these are scene files, not text scene files. Or it is a text scene file, but it uses the scene loader anyways. Yeah, look at that. It is beautiful. It is beautiful. Yeah. I suppose there's also... Aren't we all on the internet? Everyone is a bot in their own way. Because there's no way for you to know whether or not the person on the other side is a real human being. What is this? Oh, and there's 2 instances of my bot that are currently running. Somehow the container it's running in restarted itself. Or the container decided it wanted to restart without actually killing the rest of the container. So that's cool. My bot's logged in the chat twice, which is very neat. I need to find a new container hosting platform for my bot one of these days. We'll get around to it though. All right. I think this is fine though. So now we have pre-setup, post-setup, and setup. We're all bots. Some of us are just more complex ones. Possibly. Possibly. Isn't the idea of thinking that you are more complex than others just the result of a bot thinking that it's more complex? Which is to say, like, I'm kind of pussyfooting my way around it. Oh, that's not, people don't say that anymore. But isn't it weird how the brain thinks it's the most important part of your body, besides the heart, of course? Even though the brain is the one that's thinking that. Isn't the idea that you might think that everything is a bot just the fact that you yourself, the bots, is thinking that everything must be like itself? Thinking. Could be on the capability of the browser, JavaScript, the scripting language used by WebGL Studio. Convert the playing 5 minutes code in JavaScript and GLSL. Well, I mean, the browser is one of the most powerful tools that we have, like, for better or worse. A browser can run anything you want, so like the browser is already pretty much all the capabilities you can do. So how are you suggesting that you go beyond the capabilities of the browser? The browsers can already do everything that you could possibly want, I guess, besides direct file system access, of course, but you need to go beyond the capability of the browser at that point. But it does more thinking than you'd expect. Oh yeah, isn't it like your stomach also has its own kind of separate brain, which is why when you are on an acid trip, that's commonly why you're like on an acid trip, your stomach kind of just does its own thing because your stomach is not affected by any of the chemicals generally associated with LSD. So your stomach almost has a brain of its own. Something like that. I don't know, that might be a very niche question for all of those out there that may or may not have taken acid before. All right, let's try this. I think this is pretty good. This is good enough. We should be flipping it. We're not flipping it, but that's fine. Undo me. What am I missing? So this should be flipped. Am I accidentally flipping it here? Try load model. I don't think I need this. I can just use this stuff like that, and then here we just need to flip the model here. Yeah. VRM. All right, so I need to go into VRM and see what's causing this. Extensions, VRM. I don't know about that. The gut has a lot of influence on you on how you behave, so maybe. Fortunately for both of us, I do have experience with that. To some extent, at the very least. What does the transform look like? So this should be rotated afterwards. So this is just a standard transform, and then we want to rotate this 180 degrees, aka pi, around the up vector. So we step, I don't know why I stepped into, but that should be fine. That was my bad. Yeah, then rotation degrees is 180, blah, blah, blah. Model is not null. Model parents. Am I accidentally flipping it? No, yeah, that's fine. Heh. Heh. Is it because I need to flip it afterwards? I don't think I need to, though. Because here I'm able to... Do I spin it here or no? You know what? Maybe I don't spin it. Heh. Why do I spin it? So VRM loader, so we load it, blah, blah. No, yeah, we do spin it here. Model transform, model whatever. So VRM, so we spin the model transform. Model transform rotated around vector 3 up pi. Is it because of the model parent? So load model. So it is loading the stuff properly, yeah. Setup scene. I'm not using... I'm overriding setup scene here. Yeah. Model parent doesn't need to be spun around. I'm thinking something doesn't seem right here. Logger info using VRM loader. Text scene path. Go into all of these things. I do need to do logger info using scene loader. Logger info using GLB loader. All right. Just for my own sanity's sake. But here, this doesn't seem right. Huh. And I think I'm also... No, I'm not leaking, so that's fine. Load me in. There we go. Using VRM loader. Yeah. So I go into here. Alicia solid, and then I can flip them around. Yeah, so the rotation degrees gets borked. It gets overwritten at some points. Okay, so I do need to step through this. Like, if I plan to do some crazy things with extension that might not be TOS, but it's fully capable in the browser and mobile devices. What? That's not really a full sentence. I'm a bit confused as to where you were going with that, but are you suggesting that you want to write like a Twitch extension, like a channel? Yeah, basically a Twitch channel extension, and then you want to do some sort of like 3D model of stuff. Yeah, I suppose you can. I do know that whatever you have as an extension, it's very locked down. So for example, you aren't no lo-fi. What is it? What do you mean? Low fidelity? Not low fidelity? Is this some like Zoomer acronym that I don't know? The sentence is very confusing. What does lo-fi mean in modern speak? Lo-fi used to mean low fidelity. So usually if you're talking about lo-fi stuff, you're either talking about like lo-fi audio, so something that sounds like it was recorded in your garage or something, or lo-fi visuals, so something that's more referring to like PS1 era 3D models. Plan to do crazy things with Twitch extensions. Might not be TOS, but it's fully capable in the browser and mobile device. Browser and mobile device. Yeah. Yeah. I know. I got you. I picked that part up pretty easily. Not to brag or anything, but oh, it's taking the data from the model transform. Which is why it's setting it backwards, which is why I do this here. That's tough. Okay. So I think this is actually fully functional. I just need to flip the model, basically. But yeah, I know that Twitch extensions are highly locked down. So for example, like Godot has the ability to export to WASM, WebAssembly, but you cannot, at least last year when I checked, you aren't able to upload WebAssembly to a Twitch extension. Because I think Twitch extensions are pretty sandboxed, right? So the most that you can do with a Twitch extension is like grab somebody's, like maybe grab their IP address, maybe. If that information is even passed along in the current browser context. Which I'm not sure. I'm not sure. All right, let's try this one more time. VRM runner, default GUI. So then we can grab the model. We'll spin it around. We're currently T-posed, which is good. Zoom the model closer. It's a bit dark because there's no camera in this, or there is a camera in the scene, but there's no light in the scene. We'll turn on tracking and then see how this goes. Oh geez. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. It's still applying translation no matter what, but that's pretty much it, yeah. It's looking very natural. Looking very natural like this. Look at that. Hello. This is my favorite feature. All right. That's pretty much it, yeah. I just need to build that into the VRM part. Well, one, I think I need to save these move model things. So whenever I move the model, I actually need to save that to the configuration so it can be loaded back in properly. This is pretty cool though. Look at that, just straight into the head. It's pretty trippy, isn't it? There's 4 people in your chat. I made a game. Can I post the link? It's not promoting. I mean, you are promoting, but I mean, if you want to post a game, I guess you can you can post it. Sure, why not? Also, since there's 4 people in chat, you should check out Avalade de Isadora. I guess they were hosting me at some point, but I think they're asleep now since they are in a different time zone, much later than this one. But yeah. Go ahead. Post whatever you want, as long as it's not like lewd or whatever. Please don't post porn. Otherwise, enjoy your mute. All right, so let's fix this part, and then after this, I'll try testing with an export, and if the export works, then I can start cutting an alpha release for people to start testing. So let's try this default model path. Actually, let me see. Physics step. Okay, physics step I need to override here. So we'll do all of this stuff, but then it's like specific for. Oh, you know. Oh, yeah. Never mind. No, I just need to apply this part here. Head rotation. Yeah. Okay, I remember. If apply rotation, but then these all come from the configuration stuff. Okay, yeah. So if apply translation, sound and color games. What is this? Is this just like your thing? Is this your project? Okay, cool. Focused on mobile. Neat. It's cool, I guess. I don't really need any brain training, but I suppose if you're in need, or if you would like to use brain training, that could be kind of cool. Yeah. So head translation. Do I use any of these things? Yeah, I don't really play games on my mobile device. Apologies. Hold on. Apply translation else. Vector 3, 1. Rotation else. Vector 3, 1. Something like that. So go to here. Turn this back off. Go to here, rotate the model back around, because I need to build in that functionality. So it still needs to be able to save whatever modifications you make. We're getting around to it though. Have a few to-dos. Oh, what the heck? Where are you like this? Where are you like this? Apply is it because apply translation is false? All right. Oh, it is because apply translation was false. So it applies vector 3, 1, which then it doesn't adjust the position? I don't really know. I don't really know what's going on there. That's pretty weird. So it's because of that's pretty weird. Typical anime girl giraffe neck. It's true. You know what they say? A giraffe a day keeps the normies away. So this just has like custom update stuff, so that's fine. I don't even call custom update here. This is VRM stuff. Yeah. And then VRM model extends puppet trait. Puppet traits. What does this do? So it's using the... Oh, I see. Okay, so this needs to be using... What do I set these here? So these are initially set to vector 3, 0. Oh, okay. So I shouldn't be setting them to 1. I should be setting these to 0. And then that should fix a bunch of stuff, I think. Probably. Okay, so if we just go to here, say this is vector 3, 0, and this is vector 3, 0. Something like that. It's a bit ugly, but that's fine. Bring me back to this. Turn off the tracker. Go back to VRM runner. Still need to store the initial values, but we'll just do this every time for now. Spin it. I think I should... It shouldn't be too hard to create a 3D gizmo so I can spin it, not having to kind of guess how the spinning is going to be working. I'm gonna go to tracking. Start the thingamajig. Okay, cool. Yeah, there we go. That's not so bad. Yeah. Look at that. Now I just need to add in the default lights, because I don't think I'm adding in a default light at this particular point in time. Yeah, so there's only a camera, but there's no lights. Yeah. Which is why the character appears unlighted. That's not so bad. Then kill this really quickly. vrm.gd. We'll add lights later. That's fine. What is the next thing? So I need to override physics step. So we'll do the standard physics step stuff, right? Still not doing anything with delta, but you totally could. We'll do physics step. Oh, actually, we are using delta. We'll pass it along to here where it's not used at all. And then model custom updates takes in a delta. Oh, wait, no, that takes tracking data interface. So we need data. Okay. I guess we'll just hard code it for now. There's your data. And then what is the next thing? The interpolation stuff as well. Interpolation data. So add a to-do. Hard coded for OpenCFace. We'll come back to that. VRM runner. All right. Invalid get index. Okay. Okay. So this needs to be get data. And I think this data is... Is this the feature data? Get additional info, something like that. Maybe that'll work. Okay, so we don't have anything like that just yet. All right, so I do need to add that check in as well. This is scuffed. This is scuffed. I need to figure out a better way of doing this, but rotate the model very carefully. We're just slightly offset. There's not a great way of rotating it otherwise, but we'll get around to it. Probably some sort of programmatic way of doing it instead of just kind of relying on the user to very carefully imagine the XY axes that you can rotate the model on. Okay. Non-existent function, get-ish. Okay. Okay. Oh no. Not gonna be able to close this. Yeah. Alright, so that broke. Give me 1 sec. We have a memory leak. Just kill this really quick. Data. Trackers. Alright, this is testing only, by the way. If data null, and just return. Okay. One more time. One more time. All right, just start tracking. Send me. Okay. So invalid, get index, left eye open in base. Left eye open. So how did that work? So kill this. Kill this. Alright, so it's stuck in the thread. That's fine. Bring me back to here. How did I do this last time? What the heck? So utils open cface gd. So this should be just send. Yeah, this is just sending this thing. Open cface data. So left eye open. Oh, you know what? Okay, so this needs to change. VRM model needs to change. So is this what I called it? Tracking backend? Tracking backend. Bring me back to VRM model. I don't remember what I called it. It's a bunch of things though. Map bones and eyes, we don't care. Custom update, yes, this is what we do care about. Get left eye open amount. Tracking data, okay, yeah. So anything that has to do with data, we need to update for this stuff. Left eye open, that's it. Okay, wait a minute. Open amounts, okay. So papa, left eye open, right eye open. Left eye open. Okay. Interpolation data, that's your rotation. Anything that has to do with data, we need to be very careful about. Data. Okay, actually, everything else is pretty much just based off interpolation data. Yeah. Okay. Go back to here. Hit me with the tracking. Open cface features. No, okay, I see. All right, kill this. Go to face tracker, kill that. And then in VRM here, I don't believe, yeah, I only use data for that stuff, and then everything else is based off of interpolation data. Yeah, okay. And then I think some of this stuff might be a bit scuffed, but We'll figure it out. Please. Oh, it's because the interpolation data has changed as well. All right, it's like I need to rewrite the entire thing. I don't want to rewrite it. All right, for now we'll just comment it out. All right, no more mouse shapes for now. I don't want to have to deal with this. Just let me know if blinking works. That's all I care about. It's so much like menial work that needs to be done. But I'm like not willing to do. Also, by the way, I haven't checked. So is this persistent? I don't remember. It is not persistent. All right, that's unfortunate. I guess we'll think about it later. All right, rotate me around. All right, blinking works. Look at that. You love to see that. Blinking is it's a bit sensitive, if you can believe that. But yeah. Blinking is very sensitive, actually. What the heck? Possibly because it's not pulling any data from my configuration files. Yeah. Probably. Need to think about it. I think the gaze is correct. Don't know, because like in order to get the eyes to show up, I need to like ultra widen my eyes. And also this eye here is not moving. It looks like so they're not even linked either. Even though they should be eye options. Oh, actually, no. Wait, no. They blink threshold. There's a few things that I'm missing here, for sure. But we're almost back to just regular functionality. We're almost back to things working how they should be working. I just need to figure out what the heck is going on with this now. And also a way to spin the model around without requiring me to, you know, spin it for realsies. Yeah. Not so bad, not so bad. We're almost back to this functionality. And then the upside is that it's now a lot easier to add new functionality as well. Because any new change that isn't like a core change, you can just add it as an interpreted script, right? So I don't need to run through the entire process of opening up Godot, going into project, export, whatever. Now, in theory, you should just be able to do something like this. So remote control GUI, this is just a placeholder, whatever, but this is an extension that's loaded at runtime somewhere, forget, and it should just work. So we'll kill this. Let's give this a try. So export, Windows, project, export. Hold on, before we export, yeah, why not? Embed the pack, it doesn't really make a huge difference. This is the export template we want to use. Resources, yeah, I mean, really should be exporting everything. Let's give this a try. Real-time lip sync, there's nothing to export there. We don't want to export any VRM models, although we could. You know what, let's export the VRM model just so it'll load in for us by default. Everything here, signal payload, we do want to export everything under model. Resources, don't export anything. Screens, export everything. Temporary, don't export anything. No tests, and then every single util should be exported. Okay, so no, it's not OpenCFace GD. Ah! All right, redo me. Export path. Puppeteer. Puppeteer. Delete this. Why not? Remove me. All right. That's fine. Ignore this. So go to Puppeteer, export, delete this thingamajig. Should not be used. Export me. Puppeteer. Failed to export the project for platform Windows desktop. All right, it might be the embed pack part, but I would not expect it to be so. All right, feels pretty good. All right, so now it worked the first time. Okay, so maybe it just works sometimes. I don't really have an answer for that. So put me into a new folder. We'll call this Puppeteer. There's our single exe. Then we'll grab our resources, slap that into there, copy and paste it. Takes a little bit. And then resources contains our licenses, how nice, then our extensions. And then we should be able to just run this by itself. So load in VRM runner. Hard crashes. That's good. What happened? All right, that's Zig. Ignore that. A lot of side projects. So roaming, Godot, Puppeteer, logs, parse error. Unique global class, OpenCFace, already exists at path. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Okay. I think I see. So I need to take out the class name for pretty much any of these custom thingamajigs. So this one cannot have a class name because it's going to be loaded at runtime. This can also not have a class name, which means that things are going to start breaking. That's good. Okay, and then you'll also probably break. Yeah, okay. Because when they get loaded in at runtime, okay. But that's not so bad, because then all we need to do is hit it with an AM, EM. Hold on. Undo me. Just leave me with the error for now. Go to the top. So init, OpenCFace, and then on ready. I need to think about this. Because it won't know about where these things exist, right? It only knows about how these things exist via the config ini file. Okay. So instead, what we can do is hit it with, well, the easier thing here would just be to be like consolidate these two files, because these don't actually need to be different files. So that's the first thing. That's probably the easiest solution. Copy and paste. So that'll just work. That's fine. No reason to separate them. So OpenCFace features, say goodbye. This goes away. Now for OpenCFace, that's a bit more difficult, right? So on init, we'll do let's see, this is just the OpenCFace cface data, which is going to be some sort of script, I suppose. Some sort of GD script. That's fine. Then open cface data is equal to, or var results is equal to am get extension open cface. I believe that's actually how it's registered. Yeah. Then get extension. This returns a result. You need to unwrap it. Result is error. Do we have a logger in this class? We do have a logger in this class. Interesting. No, I don't have a logger in this class. No, I do have a logger in this class. Okay. Logger error. Map error to string. Return. Still have an error, but that's fine. So this should give me an extension object. And then extension objects we can call, it's very complicated, context, and then load resource from the context. Yeah, okay, context. Load resource, open cface data. Something like that. And then here, way down at the bottom, that should be fine. And that's okay. Okay. The intent is for this to be extendable, but it it does add a lot of complexity for sure, which is one of the many downsides of such a complex system. So resource. How does get extension work? So is the extension name? Okay, I think that should be fine. Yeah. Something that's a bit more suspect is this load resource thing. Should be okay though. Oh, actually this is gonna explode. This thing is error. Error res wrap error to string. All right, run me again. This is all the VRM stuff. Fair enough, this doesn't exist. Okay. Actually, this is going to be tracking backend, tracking data interface. Yeah. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. But just bring me back to the duck. Then we'll load it, run it, send me. And then here, non-existent function new in base nil. Probably could have predicted that. That's my bad. All right, kill that. Okay. So actually, I can just view this here. So we'll run into a few errors. So here, OpenCFace, extension, context, resource not found, description, OpenCFace data. Oh, yeah. So OpenCFace, there should be up here, OpenCFace data.gd. Yeah. So, all right, run me. One error. So error code 31, extension, context, resource not found. Oh, well, of course. This is resource, or not resource, result unwrap, and then this is GD. Sorry. So that should be fine. And then we open this up, start me. Okay, cool. Yeah, okay, cool. So what we'll do, I don't think I actually need to export this again, but I'm going to. And then here, we'll go to export, take resources, delete this folder, paste it back here, run this. Then we should be able to, okay. Runs that. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, so now it's running in a standalone mode, pretty much. So what it's doing is it's reading into this resources thing and then just running it from there. Yeah. So I can also prove that it's working, because for whatever reason, lots of people don't believe that this works, but it totally does. So if I just move this entire folder over to my apps folder, right? So now Puppeteer is just here all by itself. So we have puppeteer.exe. How neat. Click on Puppeteer, load the runner, and then we can go into tracker. There we go. And so it's reading in files at runtime from this resources folder. So now it should be fine, I think. Yeah. So stop. Go back to main menu, VRM runner. Okay. Load model. I guess we can just try to load in the model from the repository, because I guess it couldn't find anything, which is probably fair. Assets. Did it work? Oh, it works? Oh, baby. Love to see that. And it's also facing the correct direction for some reason. All right. So there we go. Tracking. Turn it on. Oh, did it freeze? I did see it move for a second. Well, I'm not sure what's going on. Logs, what's going on here? There's a few errors, but most of these are okay. Oh, it's because there's no runner file? And so, that's interesting. Oh, it's probably because it doesn't know how to map it to the model. Because it did say that there was no runner file found, which is a little unfortunate. Those are logs, that's fine. Bring me back to here. Default GUI. Wait, we don't want to be in default VRM. Default, what's going on there? So VRM runner. Oh, it's not able to find assets, this thing. Okay, that's fair. Oh, because that model, VRM model, didn't export along with it. Okay, that's fine. Here, load model. Up. Dev. Puppeteer. Assets. There it is. Starting load model for VRM. Loading using VRM loader. Finished load model for this thing. Yeah, that's correct. Then we go to tracking. But then why isn't it actually applying tracking data to it? All right, well, we'll figure it out later. It is using the VRM loader, but that's not bad, I think. That's not bad. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. I will be live later. What day is today? Sunday? I'll be live Tuesday from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern time working on this again. Because I do intend on submitting this to the what's it called? The Godot showreel, because they're taking tool submissions. So we're we're pretty much there. We're pretty much there. Just a little bit more work needed. But yeah. I guess I'm just going to push whatever I have to GitHub for now. Everything is free and open source as per the usual. So is that working on? Yeah, there we go. Lots of stuff. Need to remove this. Git store. Oh, actually, I'm pretty sure my tests are going to fail again because I've changed a few things. Yep. Tell you what, we'll push it and I'll let it break. That's okay. Git add all. Git commit. Tracking works. Open C face extension still broken. Tests expected to fail. So I'll push that just straight to master. It's beautiful. And yeah, if you're interested in whatever the heck I've been working on, there's the GitHub. There's also my bot talking twice. Just ignore that. Yeah, GitHub, everything's available there. You can find that under Vitro Puppet Project Puppeteer. How cool. Look at that. You know, join a Discord if you want for support and or other stuff. What else? That's pretty much it. Yeah. What else is there? my brain is empty. I'm trying to think of the what's my usual spiel. Stream Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time, and on Wednesdays from 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Work on open source software, usually using Godot, but I also do Rust and Golang. Yeah, pretty much the whole gamut of programming languages. But anyways, thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you later. Goodbye.